It is insane to me how similar the war in Iraq in 2003 is compared to the modern day war in Iran in 2026. These wars are fought over the exact same reasons and for the exact same country, that country being Israel. Now, in 2003, we invaded Iraq under Operation Iraqi Freedom, under the assumption that Iraq and Saddam Hussein was creating weapons of mass destruction under a new program. Later, after the war, we found out, well, this was not true. They had no plans of creating weapons of mass destruction. They had no active plans of creating any weapons of mass destruction, any nukes, any bombs. Nothing like that. Where do we find out this news? Israeli intelligence. The Mossad told us that Saddam Hussein had an active program to create weapons of mass destruction that he could launch within 45 minutes. As I said, later after the war, it was found out this was complete fucking bullshit. Israel just made this shit up or exaggerated it. Now, it's the same exact thing with Iran. Israeli intelligence, Mossad, is telling us that the Iranians are creating a nuclear weapon and they can launch it within not 45 minutes, but they said it will be ready to launch within a few weeks. And they've said this every single year for the past 30 years. Benjamin Netanyahu has said this exact same thing for 30 straight years. And the Iranians can't even build a nuke. They don't even have the right level of enrichment in uranium to build a nuke yet. Okay, so why does Israel want to destroy the Iraqi regime in 2003 and the Iranian regime in 2006? What do they have in common? Well, they both fund the terrorist organizations that Israel is fighting right now. Now let's just look at Iraq in 2003. Well, the Iraqis in 2003 funded Hamas over $35 million to basically create acts of terrorism against the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. Saddam Hussein would personally, well, I shouldn't say personally, he would pay up to $25,000 to the family of any suicide bomber, which, well, suicide bomber, that's self-explanatory. I think everyone knows what that is. You put a suicide vest on, basically a huge bomb, you go into some public area, you blow everyone up. That's basically what that is. And Saddam Hussein funded Hamas over $35 million just to do that. He was paying people to go blow themselves up with the Israeli Defense Force. Now, what are the Iranians doing right now? The Iranians are funding Hezbollah, which the Israelis are fighting all the way in the north up in Lebanon. The Iranians provide them around $1 billion annually, and currently the Iranians also fund Hamas up to $350 million annually. And on top of that, Hezbollah was actually created by the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. So that is basically just their military. Hezbollah is actually a wing in their military. So technically they operate out of Lebanon, but they're not wanted there in Lebanon. The Lebanese government has nothing to do with Hezbollah. They just operate out of there. They're actually operating out of Iran. They're getting their information from Iran. They're getting their money from Iran. And Iran's telling them, hey, go hit Israel here. Hey, go do a terrorist attack there. Go do a drone strike here. Do this, do that. Think of Hezbollah like an earpiece for the Iranians to basically go to war with Israel without actually being at war with Israel. That's the whole point of them having Hezbollah. And you have to understand what's on the Israeli agenda is to take back their so-called promised land. Which, I mean, they just think God promised them some fucking land 3,000 years ago. Which that land includes parts of Lebanon, all of Palestine, and all that. So that's why they're invading in the north in Lebanon and in the south in Gaza and Palestine and the West Bank. They've basically completely taken over Palestine, but I guess it's somehow kind of still hanging on with the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, even though those are controlled by Israeli militants. But you have to understand the point of this Israeli regime. They want to take back their promised land. That is the whole goal of Netanyahu's regime. His regime is funded by war. That's where he gets all of his money from to fund everything. It's just war, war, war. The United States gives him so much money for these exact wars. He's just trying to take back this so-called promised land. And to do that, Hezbollah stands in the way and Hamas stands in the way. That's it. And the only reason these terrorist organizations are so strong is because, well, Hamas in 2003, they were funded by the Iraqis, and now currently they're funded by the Iranians. Same with Hezbollah. They're getting $1 billion. I mean, that they're not just some random terrorist organization. I mean, these guys have drones, missiles, rocket launchers. They have everything. It's not a few dudes with some AK-47s. They're actual militant groups. That's why Israel wants to invade Iraq in 2003, completely topple that regime. And guess what? Nowadays, current Iraq does not fund Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, any of those. They've completely stopped. So, in Israel's mind, or Netanyahu's mind, okay, if we do the exact same thing with Iran, well, then the Iranians are also going to stop funding Hamas and Hezbollah, and the Israelis, then they will win the war. Then they will invade Lebanon. They will take back their promised land in the south, in Gaza and Palestine, and in the north, in Lebanese territory. And possibly even expanding into Egypt, Syria, Saudi Arabia, all that stuff. That's why Israel is sabotaging this peace agreement so fucking much. We signed the MOU. The first line, there's 14 points in the MOU. The first point is saying there will be a ceasefire on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Everyone signed this. It was completely fine. Boom. We have peace in Iran. The war is over. And then Israel bombs Lebanon every single day for the past 2 weeks. Iran completely calls it off, says, okay, no more peace. We're closing the strait again. Fuck you guys. We're out of here. And this is exactly what Israel wanted. Israel wants to be at war with Iran. Israel wants to be at war with Iran. They're trying to completely topple the regime. So, I mean, that's basically why we're at war with Iran right now. It's the exact same thing. Iraq in 2003. Yeah, I don't know. It's low-key just some fuck shit, bro. You can't do nothing about it because you're just a broke dude just chilling, little broke shit. So yeah, we're at war for Israel. And then obviously there's other wars, like you can get into the Afghanistan shit, get into the Syria stuff, and then just the way we fund Israel, we give them billions of dollars. But you know, I'm not trying to go into all that because I'm kind of tired. I'm about to go to bed. But that's it. That's why we're at war with Iran. I mean, it's for Israel, so Israel can restore its promised land. Oh, yeah. And so they can build their third mosque or third temple because they think it's going to bring the coming of the Messiah, which is kind of fucking insane. I mean, I don't know how people believe that shit, but they do. It's their religion. I'm not trying to hate on it. I mean, it's all right. But starting wars over that, it's just something you can't do, bro. But yeah, that's why we're at war. That's it, bro.